Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy, channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to go through and do our daily technical analysis on commodities. We're going to work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. If you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all of these sectors and topics looking for potential investment opportunities. I am riding the side of the risk reward, looking for those with the lowest amount of risk and the highest amount of reward. A lot of what I've noticed is a lot of retail investors take on far too much risk for the rewards that are possible. If you want to join, we do have a coupon code Black Friday. It's one word. I put that in the coupon code. You get 50% off the first month only, and you get a larger discount on the monthly or on the yearly membership. If you want to switch to a yearly membership from a monthly, that is also possible. All right, let's dive in. Let's take a look, see what's going on, starting with the dollar. The dollar, it is higher today, but we are seeing a little bit of a wick at the top. Could this be a potential beginning signs of a reversal? Yes, it could be, but I will say this. It could also reverse back down in small candlesticks or a retest on top of the breakout of that support resistance line. So a lot of the times you break out and sometimes you come back and then you move higher from the support. What used to be resistance is now support, and that's where you come back and retest. We'll see what it looks like over the next few trading sessions on the pullback. Most of the time, we see stronger dollar, stronger yields. So yields have been moving up. Here's the 2-year up, 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 up. And we are looking like we are creating a new high from a closing. The momentum still up at this time. The 10-year was down a little bit, but this still looks good to go higher. I don't see reversal candlesticks in this daily cluster. So that still has every bit of possibility to go higher, and we'll have to see if there's any follow through there. The 30-year yield continuing to move sideways. Again, I don't see the pressure, the downside pressure coming out. So we must remain bullish on this because we've got a nice little flag pattern and a bigger one here, perhaps forming, and it still looks good. TYX TNX ratio moving sideways. So here we are chopping sideways with this particular ratio. It's a 30-year versus the 10. And what I found is this is very correlated with gold. When this inverts, gold doesn't necessarily like it. When it uninverts, gold absolutely loves it. So I see that gold goes up when this goes up. And sometimes it front runs it, looking for a potential move. And maybe we don't get what we want because this is staying inverted. TLT bond prices moving sideways underneath a buttload of resistance. Is this going to work its way on up? I don't see evidence in the candlesticks here of that being true. It looks like it wants to fall down. And I'm using the big, large selling pressure candlestick here, that big boy there, and then the small little cluster. It's almost like an inverted flag pattern. The 2 and 10 still inverting. We have a little bit of resistance that I drew in a little while ago, and one could, play around with how this is positioned, because if you go off the closing prices, it would actually be somewhere tightened like that. But we are close to a potential breakout where the curve could reinvert again. This is going to be good for oil and energy and those types of investments, fertilizers. We might see gold trade sideways if this does occur. Gold's up $33 an ounce. I'm looking at this. We fell pretty swift with these big 3 candlesticks, and we've been working our way up, but we haven't been doing it as swift or as quickly as before. We can also throw a trend line here, and you could say that we've broken through the trend and we're doing a retest move back to that, and we could roll over. It is a possibility. And a lot of the times before these rollovers, you do see a move sideways before moving on up. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case. It's just something to watch for. So if yields continue higher, it could put pressure, and if the yield curve inverts again, that would be the scenario that we could see gold perhaps trade sideways for a little bit and consolidate. Silver, still looking really good. This is a big bullish engulfing before. So I think that we have broken the downtrend. We've got a bullish engulfing here, bullish engulfing today. I still think this wants to go higher. It looks really good to continue on up, and we'll see if we get what the signals are telling us. Platinum down a teeny bit, and it still looks bullish to me because we've got the big flag pattern and still looks good to go higher from the candlesticks that I see. We still have to break through that big long downtrend line, that blue one above us. Palladium selling off a little bit today, down about 3%. We are still squeezed between support and resistance. Resistance being above us, support being below us. And we are bouncing, ping-ponging between those areas at this time. We tried to escape it, but it sucked us back into the vortex of the channel or squeezing pattern. GDX up a little bit. This doesn't look incredibly strong. I would say that there is the possibility that this could roll over. The reason I say that is we fell like a rock. We dropped out of support there, and we've just been kind of meandering up. And usually those tend to roll over or go sideways. We can kind of see that across all of them. And whenever you kind of squeeze up into these, sometimes you get another short-term little selling pressure move. SILJ doesn't look very strong. It looks like we've got small candlesticks. We came on down. I think this could potentially go lower, and this is a bearish engulfing candlestick that we received today. So we could see further downside in the short term for GDXJ and SILJ. They're all very similar. XAU to gold, we're seeing a little bit of underperformance. We could see this pull back in the short term, and we'll have to see what kind of follow through it has. We are still in a very good area in terms of valuation and location. It doesn't look bad on a longer term perspective. Crude oil up 1.5%. Everyone's telling me that we should be long gold and short oil. I think they got it backwards. Maybe we should be long oil and short gold. Now, I'm not shorting gold. Don't get me wrong. I am very long in oil. This is a big bullish engulfing. It's working its way on up. We're coming into resistance at this time. That's what that white line is here. It's probably something like this. Somewhere in that range, and we're coming up to it. We'll see if we can get through it. TTF gas getting a little bit more of a reversal candlestick today. So we gapped up, sold off. We could consolidate here depending on what it looks like in the next trading sessions. If we have strong follow through, it could be a larger pullback. If we don't get much of a follow through and it just kind of goes down, we could create some sort of pattern or something. Natural gas in America obviously selling off as well, down 6%. And we do have a good strong support underneath us at 285. Boy, XOP, yeah, you know me, ripping higher. We've got the breakout of the downtrend. We are coming on up, and now we are breaking the larger downtrend. There we are with the larger downtrend. Now, some people will say, well, I drew it on the closing prices. Well, that's generally where I draw things. Now, you could say that it's up here. Maybe. I look at the closing prices. The majority of the closing prices are here, and I think this was a false breakout. And the elections were coming up, and they're like, we got to hold this thing down. Now, I don't know if it's being held down. We'll see if this thing runs. We'll see if it runs. And OIH is also getting some buying pressure today. We are up above resistance, and we'll see if we can stay above it. And then another one, XLE, that thing is up even more so, and that is going to be testing potentially all-time highs soon if it can get moving here. It's getting close. So that's looking real good for the larger energy companies. Newcastle coal futures, we are down a little bit. Seems like coal futures have been less volatile than nat gas, but this still looks excellent for a move higher. Looks really good for Newcastle Coal Futures. Sprout Physical Uranium Trust, we're down 2.5%. We're hanging on. It looks like we're creating some sort of flag pattern or something like that. It looks okay. We're hanging on. We're underneath this resistance above us, which we've got a couple of turns here, and we created another one. So 4 hits. We'll see if we can punch through. I think this is a big, gigantic flag pattern. And it has a pretty long way to run higher if we can break through it. Uranium futures pricing down a little bit. Don't get discouraged, guys. Be patient. We've got a lot of support on, well, not right underneath us. We've got support underneath us. It's this big kind of move up across here. It's probably, you got support at about $72. We're at 78. And we are coming on down, and we're losing that momentum. So momentum down, momentum sideways, and then we'll eventually, I think, work our way on up. URA, we're sideways today, still looking good. It's holding on. We got good momentum. Now reversal candlestick. URNM, just down day. Just patience, guys. It'll come. URNJ, little down day, and it is flagging out. So just patience. We're going to flag it up. It's going to look good. Don't get too impatient here, guys. Copper, right on support. We'll see if it holds. It probably doesn't like the strong dollar, strong yield stuff. COPX down a little bit. That still looks good. Nice big bullish candlesticks with small down candlesticks. Still looks good. Iron ore, we're just kind of tracking sideways. I think it's waiting for the dollar to weaken. If the dollar weakens, and I don't know what they're going to do here, guys. I really don't know what they're going to do here. If they lower rates, they're gonna weaken the dollar, and this thing's gonna they're all gonna rip if they do that. So I don't know what the heck they're gonna do, but this is a good setup. Aluminum still at resistance, still chilling right at that resistance line. Nickel up a teeny bit. It looks like it's trying to put in a bottom here. A lot of the times you get these double bottoms, and this is generally a good spot to be looking. And there's obviously ways to play nickel with some 13% dividend yields going on right now. That's some of the things that I talk about on the website, is that some of these setups here. Moo, 0.5% higher. It looks good on the weekly here. It looks good to go. Big bullish engulfing on the weekly. The dailies, here we are working our way up off of support. This is generally where I try to pick stuff off if you want to know. Emerging markets moving sideways. Again, that strong dollar is going to hold this thing down. We're probably not going to see a run force run. So KRE up 2.5%. The banks really like Trump and the deregulation of whatever's coming. But that's definitely broken to the upside. Looks good to continue higher. Backing out, this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a Livermore accumulation cylinder, guys. There it is. There it is, where we could launchy off this thing. If he lowers rates, I think he's going to blow up a real estate bubble, if you guys want to know. TAN, it's held down. Stronger yield, stronger dollar, but it looks like it's trying to put together something with these bullish engulfings down here. Lithium down a little bit. We are trying to break through this resistance area, and I think we will. Give it time and work our way on up. REMX doing something very similar, right at resistance. We'll see if we can punch through it. You could draw it a little bit more on the closing prices, and you could say it's somewhere like that, which it very well could be if you squeeze it up like I have it. Baltic Dry Index pulling back a little bit, 2.5%. Right on that, again, resistance line going back into the, I think it was the early 80s. Late 80s? Yeah, 88. 88. XHB up 1.72%. Ooh, man, now we're coming back above support, or resistance, I should say. Doesn't look bad. We'll see. Looks kind of like a double bottom. A lot of the home builders looking pretty strong here. I was looking at their charts today. Also 2000 up 1.8%, looking good. We've got S&P 500 looking pretty good. It is still holding on and working its way on up. I think money's just continuing to come into the market here. And then the NASDAQ, we're up a little bit, but still looks okay. It's holding on. Bigger buying pressure than selling pressure. It's still holding. We've got SMCI up 11%. I'm not touching it. NVIDIA down 3% inside the tip of this big pattern. I don't think they can lose NVIDIA here. people who want the S&P and NASDAQ and stuff to go up. I don't think you can lose this and have it dive bomb. So this is one to watch. Bitcoin up 1.13, momentum still to the upside. It's right underneath 100,000, so we'll see if we can break through it and close above it. Ethereum is down 2%. It's up against resistance. You could see, it's possible here, guys, to see a big breakout for Ethereum. And then we've got MicroStrategy up about 6.2%. It's an inverted flag pattern, big selling pressure day. It could flag out and then drop again. That could be a leading indicator of where Bitcoin maybe could go. Maybe it could be an indicator. I don't know. We'll see. We'll watch it here together. And then the VIX pulling on back about almost 10%. It's still holding downward, and it's still above this breakout here. Still above it. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. Black Friday, we've got a question and answer session coming on tomorrow, 7 a.m. Saturday Mountain Time. You can ask me whatever you want. We can go back and forth just like you would be on a Zoom call, because that's what it is, a Zoom call. And you can ask me whatever you like. You could say, hey, what do you think of this company? Or how are you positioning for what you think is coming here in the short term, long term, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll talk about all that stuff. We talk about some of the companies, offshore, onshore. We talk about oil companies. We talk about dry bulk shipping, tankers, uranium, if you want to get into uranium. I'm pretty familiar with most of at least the older uranium companies, not about the brand new stuff. We talk about oil, energy service, and anything commodity related, fertilizers. But I cover all those. I think there's a lot of opportunities here. I really do. So Black Friday coupon code if you want to join, up to you. And we'll catch you guys later. This is Finding Value.